Good evening and welcome to this Beacon evening together. My understanding is that these events don't usually start with singing, but they're going to tonight. It's going to tonight. You don't need any music. We have a little group who's going to help lead. And we're going to start with a song. We're singing 2 old freedom songs and 1 new freedom song. This one is called Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Round. Can we get an E minor? And this one goes like this. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. Now you know how that one goes. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Gonna keep on walking, gonna keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. Try it together, same thing. 1, 2, and I ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. I'm gonna keep on marching up to freedom, marching up to freedom land. Injustice ain't gonna let injustice turn me round, turn me round, I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. I know Beacon deals with a lot of red tape, trying to get through stuff, so we're going to let no red tape turn us around. 2, we're going to let no red tape turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't going to let no red tape turn me around. I'm going to keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. And sometimes I know you end up facing naysayers. Am I right? Ain't gonna let naysayers turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let naysayers turn me round. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. Nobody, I'm gonna let nobody stand up, turn me around. Gotta move a little bit. Turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking. Now, marching up to freedom land. Hey, stay standing. I'm going to teach you a new one. This is by a current activist singer named Melanie Demore. And this is a great one. What are we, C minor on this? And this one is cool. There's a great note in the middle. The words go, you gotta put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with love. Let's try that again. So it goes like this. Same line 2 times. First time it goes up, second time it goes down. Let me find my music. There we go. So it goes, gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Not yet. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with... We do that twice. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Go! Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. And then, in between, it's call and response. I'll sing a line, you sing it back 4 times. It goes like this. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. That's how that goes. We're going to take it right from the top, and this time we're going to add a little rhythm. Everybody all together. We're not going to wait. 1, you're on 1 and 3, 2 and 4. 1, we're going to get that beat going first. And boom, beat, boom, boom, we got any beatboxers in the crowd? 1, 2, put a 1 foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with... Again, you gotta put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Go! You gotta put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with... One more. You gotta put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. The path is there. Go! You gotta put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with... Open your mouth a little more. Gotta put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put 1 foot in front of the other and lead. Last verse, here we go. I know you're scared. I know you're scared. And I'm scared too. And I'm scared too. But here I am. But here I am. Right next to you. Right next to you. Big. You gotta put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put 1 foot in front of the other and lead. One more time. You gotta put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put 1 foot in front of the other and lead with love. Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the beautiful music, Beacon Choir. And to our director, Paul Andrus, how about one more round of applause for that great music? Good evening, Beacon. Oh, we can do much better than that. I said, good evening, Beacon. There it is. I don't know about you, but I am truly excited to be here, and that's not an act. I am really excited. I think it was the beat of the drum. I don't know what it is, but are you excited to be here tonight too? Being with hundreds of people of faith who believe in the vision that all people have a home seems pretty exciting to me. Is it exciting to you? My name is Laura Helmer, and I am honored to be the board chair of this amazing movement that we call Beacon Interfaith Housing Collaborative. If this is your first time as part of a congregation convening, welcome. We are so glad that you are here with us tonight. If you've been to one of these amazing events before, welcome back. Your ongoing commitment energizes us. First, as we gather here tonight, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the heartbreaking loss of a clergy leader in one of our Beacon Collaborative congregations. Stephanie Coldvet Erdman, pastor of Edina Community Lutheran Church, died a week ago tonight. We share the grief of her too soon passing with her family, her church family, and our collaborative family. Rest in peace and power, Pastor Stephanie. So tonight, we're here to talk about homes. Why they're so important, why we need more of them, and why now is the time for bold action. So let me tell you what's in store for you tonight. Be inspired by a vision of hundreds of people coming together to declare, we want affordable homes in every community, and we have the power to make it happen. Be empowered to take action through your congregations to launch campaigns to create new homes and increase rental assistance that will together help our neighborhoods thrive. Hear that you are not alone in championing the need for home that is so foundational to every aspect of life. And catch a glimpse of the future that we are creating together. It is a future where no one will have to find shelter in their car or on a chilly street, where no one will have to choose between paying their rent or taking life-saving medications, where no one will have to tell their children they don't have a bed of their own anymore. This future is possible, but it is not inevitable. So tonight, we are standing up as people of faith to declare that not only can we make it a reality, but our faiths tell us that we must. Tonight is about creating momentum. It's about growing our capacity to make a difference, being visible and claiming the power in our voice and in our story. As we increase that power in the service of love and justice, decision makers take notice, and they're going to want to come along with us. When we gathered in June, we asked you to do 3 things with your congregation. 1, secure a commitment to help create new family supportive housing. 2, secure a commitment to organize for dedicated public funding source for rental assistance. And 3, collectively turn out 500 people for tonight's gathering. Let's check in and see how we're doing. Did you meet your goal for bringing people with you tonight? Well, we are thrilled. We're thrilled to have over 300 people here, more than double what we've ever had at a convening, and you represent over 50 congregations. And nearly every congregation dramatically increased their turnout. Will your congregation continue to step forward and say, "Our time is now"? Will your congregation continue to stand up and say, "This is who we are as people of faith. This is who we are as Beacon, a diverse, collaborative, united around a shared vision that all people have a home"? It's an expansive vision and one that will take all of us to see it become a reality. What is your place within this vision? And what does it mean to find your stretch? How are you feeling challenged to step forward in new ways that may not feel comfortable yet, but feel right and true and invigorating? We're all going to need to be stretched in the days ahead, friends, and you'll all hear more about it later, but there are some stiff barriers that we'll need to overcome to create the homes we declare that all people deserve. It's going to take all of us joining together across the collaborative and reaching out to others who can help our cause. Tonight, we have allies who believe in home with us here. They believe we are more powerful when we work together. And we believe that by joining hands and raising our voice as one chorus, we can get the ear of our next governor and get them to join us. So I'd like you to imagine this with me. Through organizing at the congregational level, seeking out decision makers who share our vision and are willing to publicly stand with us, and then relentlessly working to invite others to the cause, the 41st governor of Minnesota is addressing our passionate crowd, double this size, each insisting that all Minnesotans have a home they can afford in a community that they love. That's what we're all working toward together. A January 29th convening with a powerful delegation of folks from every corner of the metro, declaring our power, showcasing firm ally support at all levels of government and our denominational structures, and demonstrating the urgency of our mission to the next governor. And tonight, we are taking a huge step in that direction. Together, we create homes, shelter families, and impact policy. Together, we exhibit love in action. To share with us more about what it means to use our power in the service of love and justice, I'd like to welcome Reverend Michael Gonzalez from Mother St. James AME to the stage.
Good evening, Beacon family and friends. Are we enjoying ourselves so far? I mean, it's warm outside. We need to take every little bit of sunshine that we can. As we gather tonight, I want to take you to the words of an American prophet, Dr. Martin Luther King. He pointed out, and I quote, "One of the greatest problems in history is that the concept of love and power are usually contrasted polar opposites. Love is identified with the resignation of power, and power with the denial of love. What is needed is a realization that power without love is reckless and abusive, and that love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love, implementing the demands of justice. Justice at its best, love at its best, is correcting everything that stands against love. Martin Luther King believed that love and power could coexist in harmony. He started this teaching in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, where he was selected to be the head of the Montgomery Improvement Association. His job was to inspire the people to be a part of the Montgomery bus boycott. In the beginning, I'm quite sure that there was a number of people that believed the boycott would not work. Martin Luther King showed them love and told them that they had the power to break the chains of discrimination. So 50,000 African Americans quit riding the buses and started walking. For 382 days, they walked and rode in people's cars until African Americans were able to ride the buses on a first-come, first-served basis, and without any segregation in the seating. Amen. That reminds me of a little story that I heard. A young man was visiting his grandmother and he found a bird. So he said, I know what I'll do. I'll talk to her and I'll trick her. He said, Grandma, I just found a bird. Is the bird dead or is it alive? And he put it behind his back. Grandmother looked at him for a couple of minutes and said, if I say it's alive, he'll squeeze it and kill it. If I say that it's dead, he'll just show it to me and let it go. What should I answer him? The grandmother said, the power is in your hands. We know that just like Martin Luther King and the African American people in Montgomery, the power is in our hands to make a difference. Love and power together creates justice. Where is this power? It's in our hands. We are going to do a little call and response tonight. And we're going to start it right now. When I say, where is the power? You shout out, it's in our hands. When I say it again, where is the power? You will say, it's in our hands. We ready? All right. Where is the power? Where is the power? A little louder. Where is the power? I want you to turn to your neighbor for a couple of minutes and talk to them about where they feel like this power is right now. So just take a couple of minutes and talk to each other. Amen. Go ahead. All right. We're coming back together now. We're coming back together. So we're going to do our call and response one more time. This is the last one, so let's go with it for all that we have. Where is the power? Where is the power? Yes, it is. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Reverend Gonzalez, for energizing us to claim and use the individual power that's in our hands. And we also know that we have collaborative power as we join our hands together. So tonight we get to demonstrate that through an act of solidarity where we declare that our congregations take up the challenge to put our power to use in the service of love and justice. I would like to invite a representative from each congregation present here tonight to come forward and declare how your congregation is using the power in their hands. So if you agreed to share tonight and you're not already up here, hustle on up and get to the end of the line. And then I think, come on up. Yep, bring the line forward.
My name is Meta Herrick Carlson, and I'm representing Bethlehem Lutheran Church, Twin Cities, these fine folks right over here. And we have 13-ish people here tonight, and the power is in our hands to shelter families. Can I get an amen?
I'm Chris Pearson, representing Wayzata Community Church. We have 6 or 8 people here tonight, and we have the power in our hands to create homes.
My name is Kurt Wicklund. I'm representing Hope Lutheran Church in Jordan. We've got 34 people here tonight. We came on the bus. And the power is in our hands to impact policy. It takes people to do that.
My name is Kristen Conrad, representing St. Barnabas Lutheran Church in Plymouth. We've got 10 people here tonight, and the power is in our hands to create a leadership team.
My name is Scott Dahlquist, and I'm here representing Woodlake Lutheran Church. We've got 5 people here tonight, and the power is in our hands to shelter families.
My name is Pam DeLate. I'm representing Edina Morningside Community Church, UCC, and the power is in our hands. We have 15 people here tonight, and the power is in our hands to create homes and shelter families.
Hi, I'm Roxanne Smith from St. Joseph the Worker Church in Maple Grove, and we have 4 people here representing us tonight, and the power is in our hands to further racial equity.
My name is Robin Gonzalez, and I'm representing Mother St. James, Minneapolis. We've got 4 mighty people here tonight. And the power is in our hands to help expand rental assistance.
Good evening, I'm John Walsh. I'm with Lake Nokomis Lutheran. We have, if you count Cat Van, we have 6 people with us today. And we have the power in our hands to shelter families.
Good evening. Mary Sutton, representing Shepherd of the Hill Presbyterian Church in Chaska. We have the power in our hands as a base for families moving forward in the Southwest area, and we are working to create 8 Habitat Humanity homes.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Noblessa with Mount Olivet Lutheran Church in Plymouth, Minnesota. We have 6 members of our congregation here tonight. The power is in our hands to impact policy.
I'm Jackie Sullivan, representing St. Stephen's Episcopal Church in Edina. We have 3 people with us tonight, and we have the power in our hands to create homes.
My name is Bill Davis. I'm representing the Edina Community Lutheran Church. We've got 12 people here tonight, and the power is in our hands to impact policy and to further racial equity.
Hello, I'm Kent Rissman representing the Bet Shalom congregation in Minnetonka, and the power is in our, we have 3 people here tonight, and the power is definitely in our hands to create homes.
Hello, my name is Marv Bonnell. I'm with the Union Congregational Church of St. Louis Park, and we've got 9 people here tonight. And the power is in our hands to build a leadership team to create homes.
I'm Sandy Doctor from St. Philip the Deacon Lutheran Church in Plymouth. We have 2 people here tonight in person and many back home supporting us. We have it in our power to create a leadership team.
I'm Janelle Hill from Living Spirit United Methodist Church, and we have 4 people here tonight. And we have the power in our hands to further racial equity.
I'm Rebecca Gamble, one of the pastors at Shepherd of the Lake Lutheran Church. I am solo tonight, but we do have it in our power to create a leadership team. Hurrah.
Good evening. My name is Denny Moriarty. I'm from Belle Plaine Faith Communities. We have 5 faith communities that work together in our small community. Our Lady of the Prairie Catholic Church, St. John's Lutheran Church, West Union Lutheran Church, and Trinity Lutheran Church, and Redeemer. It's evangelical. Our delegation here this evening is small, but you have to keep in mind we're across the river and it takes us longer to get things going. But our message is strong, and that is that homelessness is a disease in this country. Dr. Mary Beth Shin tells us that tonight there will be 6,000 homeless people in our community. Of those 6,000 homeless people, 2,000 will be children, and half of those are under the age of 5. The Gospel of Matthew says, when somebody knocks at the door, answer it. It's our responsibility. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Cindy Marsh. I represent First Universalist Church of Minneapolis. We have 7 here tonight, many more back home, and the power is in our hands to shelter families and further racial equity.
My name is Paula Northwood, and I'm representing Plymouth Congregational Church from Minneapolis. And we have, I think, around 30. I didn't get everybody counted. And we have the power to build a leadership team, shelter families, and further racial equity, and so much more.
I'm Lisa Friedman, one of the ministers at Unity Church Unitarian in St. Paul, and I'm representing our leadership team of 7 people. We know that we have the power in our hands to further racial equity.
I'm Katie Williams, representing St. Luke Presbyterian Church in Minnetonka, and I'm a party of 1 tonight. And we have the power to impact public policy.
My name is Allison Wolf. I'm representing Temple Israel from Minneapolis. We are a party of 4 tonight, and the power is in our hands to shelter families.
Hello, my name is Barbara Brooks. I'm with Waconia Moravian Church. There are 5 of us here tonight, and we have the power to shelter families, work for racial equity, and everything else on this list.
My name is Khalil Houri, and I'm representing the Northwest Islamic Community Center. I am all by myself tonight, but we do have the power in our hands to help expand rental assistance.
Hi, my name is Bill Johnston. I represent House of Hope Presbyterian Church in St. Paul. And the power is in our hands to build a leadership team that will do these other things. Oh, and we have 15 people here tonight who, by showing up, have volunteered to receive a call to be on that leadership team. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Susan Lampe from Mayflower Community Congregational Church, and we have, I believe, 20 people here tonight, and we have the power to further racial equity.
Hi, I'm Gwen Rouleau with Valley Community Presbyterian Church in Golden Valley. I think I'm the only one here tonight, but our congregation supports all of our work, and we have the power in our hands to further racial equity and shelter families.
I'm Mary Ellen Nielsen from Good Samaritan United Methodist Church, and we have 6 people here tonight. The power is in our hands to shelter families and to advocate for more rental assistance.
Hi, my name is Pam Othen, and I'm representing St. Martin's Episcopal Church by the Lake, Minnetonka Beach. And we have 3 amazing people here tonight, and we have the power in our hands to impact policy and create homes.
Hello, my name's Donna Beecroft, and I represent the Church of St. William in Fridley. I do have a core committee of 10 people, but I come alone. I know I have the power in my hands, and I am being inspired tonight to take that power back and build it even more.
I'm Father Eric Lundgren. I'm very tall. I'm in Shakopee, Minnesota, the parish of St. Joachim and Ann, and we are discerning and becoming a collaborating partner with Beacon, so I would say the power is in our hands to become a collaborating partner with Beacon and to serve the poor. Thank you.
Evening, I'm Adam Thompson from Colonial Church right here. I am, I believe, solo. Yeah, big support. But it's just kind of the power is in my hands to create more support. I know I'm off script, and also to house families and build a leadership team.
Hi, I'm Will Healy, and I'm taller yet. I represent Park Avenue United Methodist Church in Minneapolis. There are 2 of us here, and we are in the discerning mode as well. But we do have the power in our hands to form a committee and partner with Beacon.
Okay, I'm decidedly not tall. All right, I want to try this once. Where is the power? Great. All right. Oftentimes, building our power means stepping up and stepping forward when the way ahead is not entirely clear. Tonight, it is my distinct pleasure to honor 2 individuals who knew that the answer lay in their hands and whose bold action shaped a new future. The Reverend Jim Gertmanian Leadership Award is named for the former senior minister of Plymouth Congregational Church and co-founder of Beacon Interfaith Housing Collaborative, and is presented to clergy who embody prophetic, courageous, and inclusive leadership in living out the priorities of Beacon. Recipients of the award are directly involved with the Beacon Collaborative and may be involved in other public efforts to end homelessness and create housing solutions. They demonstrate moral courage by combining personal, political, and prayerful approaches to raising consciousness about homelessness and solutions. And they empower others, including other clergy and members of their congregations, to take action to create homes and advance equitable housing. The 2018 Reverend Jim Gertmadian Leadership Award is presented to Deacon Lauren Morris Wendt of Edina Community Lutheran Church and Reverend David Van Dyke of the House of Hope Presbyterian Church. Would you join me in offering our warmest gratitude and congratulations? And are those two individuals here this evening? If they are, please step forward. Reverend David Van Dyke was part of the St. Paul Leadership Task Force convened by Beacon to discern how we could have the greatest impact in St. Paul. Through the recommendation of the task force, it was determined that youth supportive housing was the greatest need. True to form, David sprang into action. He called the House of Hope into deep reflection and powerful organizing, and soon new possibilities began to emerge. Bringing the entire congregation into the conversation, the House of Hope and Beacon celebrated their burgeoning relationship on the 100-year anniversary of the congregation, Easter Sunday. Under his leadership, the congregation has responded to the vision that all people have a home, giving $500,000 toward the establishment of Prior Crossing, supportive housing for youth, and creating a fund to be used there in case a special need arises. His work extends far beyond the collaborative, too. Upon meeting a man who had come out of prison and was looking for a job as a chef, David took the better part of a day walking into every restaurant and introducing the man, asking that they consider hiring him. David literally walks the walk when it comes to supporting people experiencing homelessness. So, Reverend Van Dyke, it is my privilege to present this award to you tonight as a sign that we have borne witness to your work and express our gratitude for your love and justice in action.
Well, I am deeply honored and touched by this award, and I want to thank the Board of Beacon and as well as the Board of Deacons at Plymouth Congregational Church. It's especially touching to receive an award named after a good friend and former clergy colleague in Jim Gertmadian, so that is doubly touching. I know that in accepting this award, I accept it also on behalf of and share it along with a very hardworking, dedicated group of people at House of Hope who dove right in and fought the good fight, and along with me, learned a lot about politics, about bureaucracy, about systems, about how it's easier to cut a check than it is to actually bang on doors and show up at meetings and be the squeaky wheel that gets the attention and gets noticed. So we learned an awful lot in the process and grew a lot in the process. And so I want to thank them. You know, in a world like ours, where the news is so often bad, and where the people who we try to advocate for seem to be treated the worst. In a world where it's easy to throw your hands up in despair, all you need to do is come to a place like this and look at this room full of people to receive hope. There's hope in this room tonight. There's hope in each one of the congregations and worshiping communities represented here, and you represent that, and we'll take that back. And that's what we discovered at House of Hope in terms of our dealings with Beacon, and it's why we dove in the way we did and found ourselves transformed and renewed and even more hopeful because of the partnering with all the congregations that are part of Beacon. So on behalf of all of you and the House of Hope, thank you so much for this really, really high honor. I'm touched by that. Thank you.
Deacon Lauren Morris Wendt has been part of early discernment at Edina Community Lutheran Church as they felt they were being called to step forward to do something around youth homelessness in the suburbs. As part of an exploratory group from the congregation, she had an opportunity to visit Nicollet Square, supportive housing for youth in Minneapolis, and she left saying, "We can do this." At the time, it had been over 20 years since affordable rental housing had been built in Edina, but that didn't dampen the flame beginning to flicker in her heart. Lauren was steadfast in her enthusiasm and passion, never wavering from knowing that creating youth housing in Edina would be a blessing to the community and to those who would come to call it home. She jumped into the policy work necessary to increase resources for affordable homes, tirelessly championing the Minnesota Homeless Youth Act. By uniting community resources, funding from ECLC's own capital campaign, the passion and excitement of other area congregations, and a vision of love in action, 66 West was created. Continuing her work, Lauren served on the board of Beacon, and always with that tenacious attitude of saying, "We can do this." So Deacon Morris Wendt, it is my privilege to present this award to you tonight as a sign that we have borne witness to your work and express our gratitude for your love and justice in action.
I am grateful to Beacon, especially to the board members that I spent the last 3 years with. And I accept this award, and I accept it on behalf of my entire congregation. And I accept it especially on behalf of my colleague, Pastor Stephanie Coltvet-Erdman, who we lost tragically to a heart attack last week. Stephanie was not a part of our congregation yet when the congregation made the decision to move forward and build housing for homeless youth in 2011. But from the moment that she joined our congregation, she became a tireless cheerleader for it. And I truly believe that that's how most of us get involved in this work. We don't necessarily start at the very first meeting, but we join in and we become cheerleaders, and as a community, we make it happen. Because if I learned anything in 7 years of those tireless, by the way, yes, I was tired a lot, those 7 years of meetings and advocacy and working, it's that affordable housing only happens because of community and never because of one person. And so I accept this on behalf of our entire community, and I cannot wait to see what this collaborative, what this growing community of congregations will build next. Thank you.
So as we've heard from these great leaders, stories are one way we claim and use our power. I would like to welcome Tracy Walker and Gary Shelton to tell you a bit of their stories about why they know supportive housing works and why we need more today.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and attending congregations. Those were very supporting and uplifting words, what we need at this time. My name is Tracy Walker, and I am new in the facility of Beacon. I reside at Kimball Court, and I would like to speak about that tonight, this amazing event with Beacon. The programs like Beacon is a program that nurtures and commits to making sure families have shelter, helping build stronger communities. This is their vision. Their goal is to continue creating affordable homes. We strive to make sure everyone benefits from the right to equality. We all deserve what we need in life. And Beacon is here to help overcome the contagious lines of prejudice and bias within our society. This is a sensitive topic for me, and I'm going to share my experience with you tonight. I was homeless a few years ago, coming from Rockford, Illinois, moving here to Minnesota 17 months ago. And with that feeling, I felt really distant from everything, detached. I felt like I was a burden of failure, like I wasn't putting forth my best efforts. Being in this situation made me feel frustrated and rebellious against the world, but I wasn't asking for help. Through a long story, I was connected with the agency called Avivo that helped me find Beacon and get me moved into Kimball Court. When someone decides to reach out for help, we have to act right then and there. Being at Kimball Court is a good transition for me. I can maneuver more clearly because I have some stability. I am more structured and focused because I have a place to call my own. I'm getting to know who I am again, refinding my passion, my purpose. This is why these kind of support programs are so greatly needed in crises like these. We need more homes through Beacon. I was fortunate to be in the right place to find Beacon at Kimball Court. Everyone needs to have a warm place to go to like I do now. People face so many disadvantages, jumping through hoops, but still not able to find anywhere to live. This needs to be amplified. We need to find and create more links for people to get resources where they're at. We need people, all people, to flock to this, to rally to fix this epidemic. I'm speaking to put forth the time and effort to make a difference. With my own structure and stability, I get to lift up my voice for this. And I hope you will join me and do the same. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Gary Shelton, and I have one person with me, my lovely wife, Linda. I'm the county administrator for Scott County. I truly appreciate this opportunity to speak this evening about homelessness within my life and within Scott County. Homelessness happens for a wide variety of reasons. For some, it is just simple math. The cost of housing is more than they can afford. And that is especially true in Scott County, where the average cost of even a very small one-bedroom apartment is nearly $1,000 per month, and a home large enough for any family, significantly more. For others, homelessness can result from addiction, mental illness, disability, abuse, unemployment, or simply a dysfunctional family. Regardless of the reason, homelessness, even in a county as affluent as Scott County is very real. As a young child, I was exceedingly fortunate. I lived in a very upscale home, had 2 loving parents, and wanted for virtually nothing. However, my life experiences changed rapidly, and not for the better, shortly after I turned 11. My mother, the strongest influence in my life, was diagnosed with cancer, and my world began to unravel. As she had done my entire life, it was my mother who began to prepare me for what was about to happen. Her death and the dismantling of my life as I had known it. My mother's illness brought financial ruin to our family, and her death devastated my father. Falling into a deep depression, my father drank himself to death, and by the time I was 15, I found myself without a home and couch hopping. In the late 60s, there were few, if any, services to teens experiencing homelessness. Kids like me were virtually invisible, more often than not, left to simply fend for themselves. My home, Scott County, is one of the most affluent counties in Minnesota. However, as we come together today, there are 95 families, 189 people, 85 of whom are children, that are homeless in my county. And this number does not include those under the age of 18 who, like I was, are couch hoppers. The African proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child," is very appropriate when we consider homelessness, as it certainly will take all of our communities and congregations working together if we are able to find a way to provide hospitality, shelter, and a path to an affordable home with support and stability for all those who are currently in need. No person should be without a home. I want to thank all of you for your dedication and efforts to help families within our community and to end homelessness in our communities and the state of Minnesota. Thank you.
Tracy and Gary, thank you so much for sharing your stories. Your testimonies are one of the most important parts of this convening. It's what we feel, not necessarily what we know, that inspires us with the courage to act. Friends, good evening. My name is Pete Cochran. I'm a member of Westminster Presbyterian Church and a member of the Beacon Board. It's also my privilege to chair Beacon's Collaborative Strategy Committee, the group that's responsible for building our collaborative and driving our campaigns and the actions we take together to ensure that all people have a home. Open a newspaper, turn on the television, scroll through your social media feeds, just be here tonight. It's clear Minnesota has a housing crisis. It's not just a problem for our urban centers of Minneapolis and St. Paul, it's a problem for our suburbs as well. Savage, Plymouth, Minnetonka, here in Edina, and many others. It's also a problem that's only getting worse. For many, especially those at the lowest incomes, those in the margins, those whom we've chosen to serve, it's not just a problem, it's a crisis. You've already heard the numbers. There isn't a single county in the state of Minnesota where a full-time minimum wage worker can afford even a modest one-bedroom apartment. In the Twin Cities, it takes an average of 70 hours a week at minimum wage to afford a single-bedroom home. 100,000 households in the metro area pay over half of their income for their housing, and 20,000 of those households, 20%, will fall into homelessness this year. You've already heard stories about the problems that homelessness and instability can cause. Tracy and Gary and all the families we host through Families Moving Forward make that problem much more real and much more tangible for us. So how do we respond? What can we do? We can feel the problem is so big and complex and unsolvable that we get depressed and do nothing. Or we can study it to death and end up similarly paralyzed. Or we can get angry about the injustice in housing, lean into our faith, and do as Reverend Gonzalez implored us to do, work together as people of faith and do everything in our power to make a difference, acting together, we can make a difference. Let's see if you are paying attention. Where's the power? Where's our power? Very good. Tonight, there are three things we're asking of you and your congregations. The first is to explore your congregation's interest in getting involved with the Family Supportive Housing Campaign. This campaign will create 3 housing developments with a total of 100 to 150 new homes with on-site support services for families transitioning out of homelessness. These developments will be built in 3 different locations across the Twin Cities: Scott County, North Minneapolis, and suburban Hennepin County. Specific locations are yet to be identified, but we're narrowing down our focus in Scott and Hennepin counties to 2 to 3 cities. In North Minneapolis, we're keeping our focus on the land we own at 18th and Emerson Avenue North, the current site of our Families Moving Forward Program Center, for both affordable housing and a new program center for FMF. Over the past few months, leaders from congregations from across our collaborative have met with mayors and city council members in Minneapolis, Edina, Bloomington, Savage, and other cities, and officials from Scott and Hennepin counties to learn whether they would support our efforts to build affordable, supportive housing for families in their communities. We heard a lot of yeses, good news. We heard some maybes, and we heard some no's. It's a good start, but it's not nearly enough. Applications need to be submitted to the Minnesota Housing Finance Agency in June, so the clock is ticking. And to be honest, we face some pretty stiff resistance, and we're going to need to address it if we're going to see our efforts advance and bring an end to homelessness. They're not insurmountable, but they are challenging. So what's the next step? Well, any action needs to be grounded in affirming that affordable housing is needed in all communities. No exceptions. When we face powerful voices that say no, will we stand up for what we believe and push our communities and leaders to say yes to the homes we need? It's up to us to decide what we do with the power we hold. So to make our vision a reality between now and June, we each need to do 2 things. We need to educate our fellow congregants to ensure everyone understands the need for affordable, supportive family housing and exactly what they can do to help make it a reality. We also need to find out exactly where our elected officials stand. We need to identify and engage our key allies, something you'll hear more about here in just a minute. Our second ask is that you and your congregations get involved in and support our dedicated funding source campaign. This campaign will create a public source of rental assistance, a minimum $100 million a year for the Twin Cities metro area, targeted to households making less than $25,000 a year. That's 30% of the area median income. Just like the capital needed to build buildings and the funds we need to provide the supportive services we provide, rental assistance is necessary to ensure affordable homes are actually affordable. And the need far outweighs the amount that's available today. $100 million is a winnable amount, but it's really only a down payment on the $700 million that will ultimately be needed. So just like the Family Supportive Housing Campaign, we need to engage and educate the members of our congregations to ensure they understand the issue and what they can do together to address it. And again, we need to gain the support of our local elected leaders. 2 different campaigns, but the work before us is the same. Engage and educate more people in our congregations and gain the support of our elected leaders. Our third ask of you this evening is to invite others to meet with our new governor in January. Laura painted the picture earlier this evening. Imagine congregations from across the entire metro area, clergy, denominational leaders, and elected officials all standing together, a room even bigger than this, filled with people of faith, using their collective voice to say to the next governor, "We believe that all people should have a home, and we need your help to make it a reality." We've already invited the gubernatorial candidates. In fact, I just signed the letters this evening, and we'll follow up after the election, but it's important to raise the issue now to give it visibility before the election. So a lot to do. for sure. How can Beacon help? Beacon has 4 congregational organizers who will work with you and your congregations on these 3 initiatives and much more. But they can't do it alone. Probably the most important thing your congregation can do right now is to identify a Beacon leadership team, if you haven't done so already. Leaders from within your own congregations who will do the work to help educate, make plans, mobilize the resources of your congregations to make all this possible. Beacon organizers will then work with each of these teams to develop and implement the education we talked about, to identify key allies and plan for your conversations with them, and to engage members of your congregations in these 2 campaigns in the January convening. Now, we know that every congregation is different. The organizers respect that, and they'll work with you to develop plans that fit with your congregation's culture and priorities. But at the same time, they'll stretch you a bit. I've referenced the importance of allies a couple times tonight, and we've invited a few of them to be with us here this evening. Mark, I think I'll turn the program over to you at this point in time.
Thanks, Pete. I'm Mark Bailey. I'm a member of Wayzata Community Church and a new member of the Beacon Board. An ally is defined as a person, group, or nation that is associated with another or others for some common cause or purpose. Tonight, we have with us some very important allies in our cause, and I'd like to now invite them to come forward and join me. Mayor Janet Williams of Savage, Hennepin County Commissioner Debbie Gattell, and finally, Mayor Jacob Fry of Minneapolis. Please join me one more time in thanking them for being here. You'll notice we have 3 guests and 4 chairs. Representative Alice Hausman of St. Paul was to be here tonight. She had a last-minute family issue come up and could not make it. We're sorry she couldn't be here. I want to assure you that she answers yes to all questions enthusiastically. Please sit down. Please have a seat. These decision makers represent the level of influence that we need to be successful in creating more homes and unleashing more resources. As allies, it is their influence, combined with the power that we have in our hands, that can impact public policy. We've asked these allies to join us tonight to publicly declare their support for our bold campaigns. To be completely transparent about our process, we sat down in advance with each of these potential allies and shared the questions we'll be asking in this public setting. So I'm going to ask each of our guests 3 questions. First, I'll ask each leader individually to declare their support for our campaign for family supportive housing. Next, I'll ask each for their support of the campaign for a dedicated public funding source for rental assistance. And finally, I'll ask each of them to support our plan to get in front of the governor. Each will then have 3 minutes to tell us everything they want us to know about their commitment to home, as well as the power of love and justice. Plenty of time, right? Our timekeeper, Dennis, right here. We take no chances. Dennis will keep track of those precious 3 minutes. We're going to first hear from Mayor Janet Williams. And I think we have a mic here. Oh, I don't know. Oh, you want me to just sit here? Okay. Mayor Janet Williams of Savage found her second career in politics when she was elected to the City Council in 2004. She then became the first woman mayor of Savage in 2007. So, Mayor Williams, will you support the Family Supportive Housing campaign?
I will, and I've tried to do the...
Thank you. Will you support the dedicated funding source campaign for rental assistance?
I will.
Will you help us to get the governor here for our convening in January?
For sure.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, please, would you take those 3 minutes and tell us why you support these priorities?
Okay. Well, I just wanted to congratulate Gary for coming forth with his statements, because I used to work for him for about 30 years, so we have a long commitment, and it took him a while to tell the story. Anyway, we have kind of a reputation in our city for having stability on our city council and in the mayor's position. And so we've had some things that we've had to confront, and we've done a good job. And as we were trying to get, the First Livable Communities Act council commitment in our city, and when we tried to get 2 workforce housing buildings, and they were successful, but the first one was very contentious. And so we are a council that sticks together with what we are committed to do, and we have done that successfully. And so we plan to continue that, because our goal is to have housing for everyone. And if there's a $600,000 house that you can afford, well, that's affordable housing, but we've got to have everything for everyone. And that's my commitment.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your support. Commissioner Debbie Gattell was elected to the Hennepin County Board in 2016 and represents District 5, which includes Bloomington, Eden Prairie, and Richfield, and she's my commissioner. Prior to that, she served the city of Richfield as mayor for 10 years. Commissioner?
Thank you.
Will you support the Family Supportive Housing campaign?
Most certainly.
Excellent. Will you support the dedicated funding source campaign for rental assistance?
Yes, I will.
Excellent. And finally, will you help us get the governor here for our convening in January?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm one of those people who's not tall either. Thank you, Beacon. Thank you for doing this. And thank you, all you people of faith who decided to come out here tonight. Tonight of all days, some of our last summer days here. I appreciate that you decided to be here instead of outside. Thank you for the work you do. You may not know, but I actually started out in faith-based organizing with Isaiah. When I first ran for mayor, it was because of an issue around affordable housing. And I was frustrated like you were. And I was angry, and I wanted to do something different, and people wouldn't listen to me. So I ran for the highest office I could in the city of Ridgefield, and I became mayor. Housing has been a really long passion of mine, and I think it is for a lot of us. And you know what I believe? I believe in economic equity. It's not just about who you love. It's not just about what color your skin is. It's about the economics of your life. Tracy, thank you for coming here and sharing your story. That had to be difficult. So many people are embarrassed and don't want to talk about that. She so deserves our love and kindness for sharing that story. But I want to tell you that your goals are my goals. They're the goals of my office. They're the goals of this county. And we are partners with Beacon. And we are partners with a lot of other nonprofits and different organizations that work on affordable housing. You should be able to live in Belle Plaine if you want to, right? Way out in that part of the world because it's beautiful out there, right? Or Jordan or Waconia. They have great sports teams for our kids. Who wouldn't want to put their kids there, right? But you got to be able to afford it. Who wouldn't want to live around Minnetonka Beach? That's a great place too. And what about the great city of Minneapolis? But it shouldn't only be the north side, should it? Or how about across the river to St. Paul with all that beautiful architecture? My city of Richfield, I love that city. It's a small town. Some people like that, right? But you should be able to live there no matter who you are and not dependent on your economic status. That is what it is. We need to think of humanity when we think of homeless people. At the county, I see a lot of sad stories. A lot of those come into our office. We know what the stories are of these people. They have mental health issues, their addictions. They've lost their only job. They have medical issues that bankrupt them. They've lost a family member who used to be their breadwinner, and they're homeless. And we know the only way to help those people is to make sure they have stable housing first. Stable housing first. Then we can take care of the whole person. So I want to thank you for what you do, and you come to my office when that door is slammed shut. We'll work at opening it for you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to feel like I have a little power. What do you think? Yes. Finally, Jacob Fry was elected mayor of Minneapolis in 2017. He's a former 3rd Ward City Council member and an avid supporter of our great river landing development in the North Loop. The mayor is also a long-distance runner, which no doubt prepared him for the stamina required for a life in politics. So, Mayor, would you come forward? You want this or you want this? I'll take this. Okay. Will you support the Family Supportive Housing Program?
Yes, I will.
Excellent. Will you support the dedicated funding source campaign for rental assistance?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. And finally, will you help us get the governor here for our convening in January?
I feel like I should leave you in suspense a little bit on this one.
No.
The answer is absolutely yes,
Wonderful.
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mayor and Commissioner. Thank you to the Beacon Interfaith Collaborative. The work that you are doing is so essential right now. You know, I think we can all agree on 2 overarching principles. The first is that we do have an affordable housing crisis right now in our Twin Cities region. And the second one is that housing is a right. Housing is a right. Everyone deserves that safe place where they can go home to at the end of the night and rest their head on a pillow and rejuvenate for the next day. Everybody deserves that foundation from which they can rise. And the truth is that not everyone has it right now. We have a large population that is desperately in need of affordable housing. We have a homeless population. We're seeing the values go up, rents getting jacked through the roof, and the communities that have made these neighborhoods wonderful to begin with are being displaced. And we, just a second ago, you were saying, who has the power or where is the power? In our hands. We all have the power in our hands. That's government. That's faith communities. That's nonprofits. That's private sector. That's all of us. We have the ability to make the change, but we got to quit doing things the way we've been doing them. It's funny. Sometimes the only thing that people hate worse than the status quo is any change at all. But, yes, we do need change. We do need change. It used to be that we would put all the affordable housing in our city anyway in kind of one area, in North Minneapolis. I believe that affordable housing should be in every neighborhood. We should have affordable housing in affordable housing does belong in middle and upper income areas. Affordable housing does belong But to get there, we're going to need the help from all of you. And so at the beginning of my term, I believe in setting priorities. And the number one priority for my administration is affordable housing. And what we said was we're going to put together a task force. We're going to gain some of the smartest people, many of whom are in this room right now, by the way, and we're going to make sure that we have a strategy. And that strategy surrounds 4 different topics. 1, affordable housing production. 2, naturally occurring affordable housing preservation. 3, home ownership opportunities, especially for communities of color who have traditionally been left out of the equation due to bad financing mechanisms. And the 4th is making sure that we have an advocate for tenants, making sure that there are proper protections in place so that unscrupulous landlords are not taking advantage of those tenants. And then the 4th piece is money. And I'm proud that as of just a few weeks ago when we delivered our budget, we said that we were going to put $40 million into affordable housing, which is 3 times the previous record in the city of Minneapolis. And I believe that it's the 2nd highest per capita in the entire United States of America history. I'm disappointed with that. But we can always use a little bit of improvement going forward, something to aspire to. This issue matters. We have a home, and I know I'm a little bit over time on the way. I just got one more point that I want to make. We have a homeless population in our city. We have people who are experiencing homelessness, in many cases through no fault of their own. And it is the right decision to make sure that we have that deeply affordable housing so that they have a place to live. We've got a long history of doing housing at what's called 50 and 60% of area median income, which is workforce housing, and we need that. We also need that deeply affordable housing so that the people who are experiencing homelessness have that next rung on the ladder to pull themselves out. Right now, they don't have that rung on the ladder, and so we collectively are perpetually keeping them as homeless. And not only is that the immoral decision, because again, housing is a right, it's also financially really dumb. It costs almost 3 times as much to the county, to the cities, to the state, to keep a person homeless on the street cycling through shelters and hospital stays and sometimes jail than it does just to give them a home. This is the right decision. It's the right thing to do. It's the financially smart thing to do. We got to all be on board on this big vision, and I know that you are. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the support.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. Your inspiration is overwhelming, and it makes a huge difference. Thank you for being here. I think you'll all agree that we need many more people in our corner with the passion and commitment that you've heard tonight from these 3. We're counting on you as our allies, and we're all in this together. And that means we will stand with you, and we hope you'll stand with us. So as we all stand and gather here tonight, where is the power? They need to hear you on the other side of a dyno. Where is the power? Now that same message needs to be taken back to every congregation that's represented here. And now as our allies go back to their seats, let's thank them one last time for being here tonight. Thank you. And now, Pastor Joel. Where's Pastor Joel? I think we are ready for you to tell us how we can put our hands and our power to work.
Thank you, Mark. Hello, powerful people of faith. My name is Joel Berglund. I'm associate pastor at Mount Olivet Lutheran Church of Plymouth. And I want to say that I do this work because when we extend hospitality and welcome and refuge, that is a holy and sacred thing. Like when we do that, we touch God, and we sense that we are doing what we are on this earth to do. And so this is part of my call to act boldly in service of love and justice so that all people have a home. It's a big vision, right? It's big, and that means that I can't do it alone. We must build our power together. More congregations, more people, more leaders translates into more homes and more justice. Are you with me? Yeah. Well, let's get a little concrete here. I invite you to dig through your packets until you find this half sheet of paper, your call to action card. These opportunities are open to you tonight, to you and the power you hold in your hands. I'm going to invite you to think about which actions you could take, but then to stretch yourself and turn one of those coulds into a will. Organizers are going to collect these cards when you're done, and they're circulating around with pens and paper if you don't have them. But we're going to start with these opportunities at the top. You can build your power by learning and connecting that to your faith. So you can check the first box if you want to learn with your congregation by working with others to launch Beacon Power Surge between now and the end of the calendar year. Power Surge is a new education opportunity focused on our 2 bold campaigns with room for stories and listening and an invitation for action. There's an overview on your packet, and there's going to be a full facilitator's guide on the Beacon website very soon. You can check the second box to learn through Beacon and unleash the leader in you. Will you commit to building your personal skills and knowledge through Beacon Academy workshops? If so, there's several options on the flyer. And I'm just going to shout out, Power Tools is a great workshop. If you're just organizing your Beacon leadership team, it's a good 101 intro to all of the work that Beacon does and how you can be a part of that. You can check the third box to learn about candidates. I don't know if you're aware, but there's an election in November, and now is the time, a really opportune time to find out where candidates stand on affordable housing before you vote this fall. Do they share Beacon's vision that all people have a home? There's some questions for you to ask candidates in your packet as a guide. You can show up at candidate forums by yourself or with congregation members and ask these important questions. You can also build your power by organizing. Many congregations are in the process of forming Beacon leadership teams, including my own. And Beacon leadership teams are this essential liaison between this whole collaborative we have in the Metro and all the people in your congregations. Check out the insert in your packet to learn more about their role, and mark that first organizing box if you can imagine being part of this team in your congregation. So we had some practice tonight building relationships and support for Beacon campaigns in the public arena tonight. You can check the second organizing box if you can see yourself being part of that ally strategy for your congregation, possibly even joining with other collaborating congregations in your area. There's an overview in your packet that includes more info and 4 possible planning workshops. I don't know if you have anything on your calendar on January 29th. I know people book up quick, but if you don't, and I hope you don't, let's get ready to demonstrate our priorities and collective power to the next governor at the next big, bold convening. Registration is just around the corner. October 1st is when registration opens, and we just heard decision makers say that they're going to work to get the next governor here, and we want to show up and be a united force for justice and housing in our state. Last ask, anyone here have a cell phone? Before you leave tonight, get with your congregation peeps and take a group selfie. Post it on social media, whatever platform you like, tagging your congregation and Beacon. And the hashtag is the power is in our, no, the hashtag is power in our hands, because you got to be short. So I'm actually going to go first with this. You want to take a selfie with me? Everyone smile and say, in your hands. In your hands. You all look beautiful. Don't forget to give your cards to the organizers. They will collect them and follow up with you afterward. Where's the power? Where is the power? Pastor Obi Ballinger has some closing words for us before our final song together. A special welcome to Obi and his congregation, Edina Morningside Community Church, which is the newest official member of the Beacon Collaborative.
Good evening. I don't know about you, but from where I was sitting, there was a lot of this direction, and I want to inspire us to move a little bit with one another. So if you would stand as you're able, as we prepare to close out the night, choir will come up and will sing us out as you turn in your call to action cards. As we do this, I want you to be conscious of those who are on the sides, those who are next to you, and I invite you to share the answer to this with them. Where is the power? Where is the power? Where is the power? In our hands. That's right. Good evening. I'm delighted to stand with you tonight on behalf of Edina Morningside Community Church. Our decision to join with you, to stand here with you in the collaborative, and to show up here with 15 members is because we believe in this bold, shared vision that all people have a home. We also know that the power to realize this vision is in our hands because God has entrusted that power to us. So will you join me in a spirit of prayer? Let us pray. God, whose generous love knows no ending, whose compassionate power is extended and multiplied in your people here and everywhere, thank you for gathering us together, for inspiring us with love which envisions a better world, and for empowering us to make these commitments tonight. We pray, O God, that you would lead us from this place. Lead us still, lead us on in these individual efforts and in our efforts together as a collaborative. Be the inspiration that sparks new possibilities and creative answers. Be the energy that gives us the ability to rise up again when we're tired and we want to return to the pillow. Be the breath in our lungs calling for home. Be the spring in our step. Be the strength we didn't know we have. Be the courage to overcome our fears at obstacles, be they real or imagined. Be the power of love. And lead us to demonstrate that loving power together until all your people truly have a home. In your many names we pray. Amen. Paul, choir, come forward and lead us out with song.
Please have a seat for a moment. You did not come here tonight knowing you were maybe going to sing. However, we are people of faith. And it's one of the things we have. We're going to sing a song in just a moment that I sang about a dozen times in March. Many of you know Mark and Leslie Squiggum. Mark and Leslie led a group of 12 of us to Alabama and Montgomery in March on a civil rights tour. The first day, we sat with a veteran of the Children's March in Birmingham. We walked the park and looked at the water cannons. The next morning, we met with a woman with a scar on her leg from those water cannons. And in that park, we sang together songs of the freedom movement. The next morning, we visited Dexter Avenue King Memorial Baptist Church in Montgomery. And Wanda Battle, the tour director, led us in these same songs, freedom songs. It was so powerful to sing in that chapel where Dr. Martin Luther King had been pastor for 6 years. It was incredibly emotional. We sang with people from around the world, our arms crossed, holding hands. I broke out sobbing at the end, and Wanda hugged me and prayed for me. And I said, Wanda, this song has been so important to me for so many years, but I don't know that it's my song to share. It's born out of a racial struggle I didn't go through. And she said, and person after person, Brown Chapel, and in Tabernacle in Selma, share these songs. These are the songs of people who are fighting for justice. And so we'll sing, "We Shall Overcome," because Beacon is fighting for justice. What we heard from every single foot soldier of the civil rights movement that we talked to, and they were unrelated to each other, I told this to the choir earlier, was they said the speakers, Martin Luther King, Fred Shuttlesworth, all these people, they were amazing speakers, and the mass meetings were phenomenal. But what we know was two things. One was that Rosa Parks wasn't an accident. It was decades in the making. The Reverend Gonzalez talked about the Montgomery bus boycott. That didn't happen by accident. That was decades in the making. And that's what the fight is about. I watched Lauren Morris Went go through this fight for years. It's what we do. It's what you do. The other thing they told us time after time after time was while all of that was inspiring, it was the music that gave us the courage to walk out and face the water cannons, to face Bull Connor, to face the cattle prods, to face the horses. When we ran back to Brown Chapel, we sang. And so let's stand, cross arms, hold hands. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand someday. We shall overcome.